All right, welcome everyone. My name is Lara Midoma, she and hers. I am Head of Outreach and Community Experience here at the Framingham Public Library. We are so thrilled to welcome you to our Lunchtime Learning Series. For those of you at home, welcome. For those of you here in the room, we're so thrilled to see you. This series takes place usually on the first Friday of every month at noon. So we're so excited to have you here with us, and it will be recorded. So if you know anybody who wasn't able to be here today, we'd love to have you visit the Framingham Public Library YouTube page, point them in that direction so that they can enjoy it from home as well. For those of you here in the room, we do have some evaluation forms in the back. So once the presentation is over, if you would like to let us know what you thought about today's event, if you have any ideas for any future events, and if you aren't already on our mailing list, we'd love to have you join us. And since you're in the public library, the only thing that we will ever send you is more information about grade-free public library programs. At this point, we will ask the folks in the room to go ahead and turn their cell phones off. So any ringers, alarms, anything like that, go ahead and turn those off for us. And for today's speaker, we are so excited to feature Reyad Shah from Downtown Framingham. He's going to tell us a little bit more about the businesses downtown and what the future might look like. Welcome, Reyad.
Awesome. Thank you for having me so much. Welcome again to Lunchtime Learning Series. That happens first Friday of the month. Again, I'm Reyad Shah, he, him, and I'm the Executive Director for Downtown Framingham Inc. And a little bit about myself. I'm a Framingham Southside native. I grew up right around the corner from La Cantina off of 135. I went to Barberry, Walsh High School, and I've worked at several nonprofits in the city, Boys and Girls Clubs, SMOC. I've worked at the school department and now Executive Director of Downtown Framingham Inc. So I'm really passionate about the downtown area, Framingham as a whole, and really seeing it succeed in the next couple of years and for years after. So who we are in Downtown Framingham Inc. is the mission of Downtown Framingham Inc. is to enhance economic and cultural vitality of downtown Framingham by following the tenets of Main Street's America model. So economic vitality, promotion, design, and organization. Aligned with the Economic Development Department, the Planning Board, city offices, DFI provides complete comprehensive advice for interactions with all those departments, including we work with all those organizations in the city to create inclusive events that support community engagement. So what that means is Downtown Framingham is a one catch-all for a lot of the small businesses and organizations in the downtown area. We do economic vitality, and that can mean helping create promotions so that you can go down to Andina Cafe on Concord Street and they have a loyalty punch card that after 8 cups of coffee, you get a free cup of coffee. Or after 3 o'clock, you can get a buy one, get one free happy hour deal for coffee in the downtown area. Additionally, we work on making sure that they're on different platforms to make sure that they are getting noticed from not just Framingham residents, but surrounding communities as well. Framingham is a busy pass-through community. It's a commuter community as well. So we want to make sure that they are getting that promotion in different aspects, whether it's online, print material, direct interactions at events that we'll talk about some more as we move through the presentation. The promotion and design, we do work with the city economic planning development team to talk about the design of the facades of what the businesses look like. Downtown Framingham is on the National Historic Registry of downtown areas, and we have 3 in the downtown Irvin Street block, Burkus Square, and the Concord Street block on the National Registry. So those buildings can have some alterations and improvements, but they have to stay within the realm of the lines of that historic preservation. So making sure that the business owners don't just go ahead and do something to the side of the building without working with the city departments and myself to make sure that they're staying in line to preserve the beautiful architecture that the building is made up of. And lastly, some of those inclusive events, we make sure that we want to provide events that everyone can attend, whether it's an outdoor event, an indoor event, a walking tour. We do 4 various staple events throughout the year, and then one-offs throughout the year as well. And we'll kind of dive into those as we dive a little bit deeper into this presentation. So what are the goals of Downtown Framingham? In those Main Street tenant models is creating and driving foot traffic to the downtown area, whether it to be by walking tours, food tours, events, increasing wayfindings. That means letting people know that there's parking down here. There's plenty of parking behind the buildings, not just on the street in the metered parking spots. There's actually 200 spaces available behind those two beautiful large buildings that you can actually walk through the building and not have to walk around the street to actually get to the main street business district. You can park in there for free for up to 2 hours at a time, and it's definitely accessible if you go down Kendall, Frederick Street, Pearl Street. Those parking lots are located at the intersections of those streets right behind those buildings. And again, there are vestibules that you can walk through that are fully lit up, and they're gorgeous inside, so definitely come on down and check them out. Maintaining a clear line of communication with the business owners, the organizations, new entrepreneurs, and filling some of their needs, right? As new businesses want to come to the downtown area, they work with the property managers, they work with us, they work with the city to make sure that they're in line with the permit process, with what's going in, and making sure that we as a whole, we bring in a dynamic, diverse, eclectic group of businesses so that Framingham can become that destination that we all want it to become. And then again, working collaboratively with all those sign and permitting departments, police and fire, to make sure when we do put on these events, they are within the guidelines, making sure we have enough portable restrooms, making sure it's accessible, making sure materials in 3 different languages for folks. So when they do come and they do need the resources and they take it away, they actually can follow up on it because they know what they're taking away with them. Some highlights from our first year. There's been a lot from my first year. I've got hired in January of 2023. Before that, I was a board member. Again, I've been a resident of Framingham for 30 plus years in the downtown area. So the Downtown Framingham Inc. model is not new to me, and being in the city is not new, and how to navigate some of those barriers, platforms, different hiccups in the road to make it run as smoothly as possible. But some of the highlights that I'd like to make noticed is we had our first annual marathon event at Jack's Abbey in their parking lot. So what we did is we created a very family inclusive environment. The alcohol and the food and everything stayed inside of the beer hall, but what we did is we had a family-friendly environment outside where we had 3 local artists, we had a DJ and 2 performers, a singer and a pianist, perform throughout the day. Even that it was raining, we still had people show up. We still had vendors. We had over 25 local vendors actually set up shop in the rain and be there to connect with the community. And what was really nice is that it's not something to drive traffic away from the marathon. So the marathon's been running through Framingham since inception and for over 100 years. So we want to be able to add something to that for community members. If you live in Framingham or the surrounding towns, the Marathon Monday is the place to be. Can't really go anywhere else from 7 a.m. till about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon when the road opens back up for the most part. So where are you going to go? So we want to be able to provide a place for people to hang out all day long. They know what to expect. They can track their runners. They can track their friends. They can support the organizations that they've either done donations for, went to a fundraiser for, their friends are running for, and they can track them. They can come to the event, hang out, meet some organizations, shop locally, and then go over right to 135. It's about 400 feet from the marathon route that you can walk over. You can go support the local runners. You can go high-five your friends, pass them some orange slices or anything like that, and then come back and hang out with us. Jack's Abbey is open. You can go in and get pretzels. You can go in and get pizza. If you're of age, you can go in and have a drink of your choice. But again, it's an event to add value to what's already a dedicated event for the Framingham community. And we don't want people to not go and cheer on the marathon. I myself, down there as the event organizer, I still make sure I go over and cheer on the marathon because it's something that, as a Framingham native, it's important. It's a part of the community. So I want to make sure that I stay true to that as I continue to live in Framingham, in the downtown area. And it is something that I do like to go to and participate, but now I want to be able to add value to that. We had our 5th annual Oktoberfest. This year, we were able to get our beer garden on the same side of the street, so we were able to take away the safety component of crossing the train tracks and having it on the same side of the street. So at the new Seabra location, which some might know as the old Salvation Army building, there's Seabra grocery store is going to be coming into downtown Framingham. So we were able to work with them and their partners to host our Oktoberfest beer garden in their parking lot so that folks would have an easier interaction of crossing the street and working with the police department to use the crosswalks and hear the music that was playing and celebrate the day. And it was a gorgeous day. I think it was one of the most beautiful September afternoons that we had. It was 75 degrees out. It was gorgeous. And what we did is we really focused on local talent. So really focusing on was the kickoff of Hispanic Heritage Month. So we wanted to make sure that we found a local Hispanic artist to participate in the event. So the first half of the event, we had local student artists from the Center Music House, and they were able to perform, so giving those students a platform to play for either their families, for themselves for the first time, to showcase their abilities, and they can record themselves and make their own YouTube channel and TikToks and things like that nature, because I was an educator beforehand. As I mentioned, I worked for the public schools, so I want to be able to keep building that scaffolding, that and providing opportunities for young people. And then additionally, we had the local Hispanic group. We had a salsa band come out and play for an hour and a half, and it was amazing. And again, giving their families an opportunity to come down and also making it a multicultural event and not just an Oktoberfest, and thinking of what does that dynamic mean for the different cultures and ethnicities in the city of Framingham. So being able to make it multidimensional so that more people can access it, and having different languages, and we had 35 vendors during our Oktoberfest, which was amazing. So we're almost outgrowing our space down there, and we have to work with the police department and the fire to make sure that the event stays within the safety guidelines, but maybe we might need a larger space going forward in the downtown area. So thinking about that forward for coming 2024, coming in the early September month, we want to make sure that we provide that as well. One that I really love that isn't really big and glorious, but it is 4 new wayfinding signs downtown so that people can access those parking lots. So where I was able to work with the Traffic Commission Department and DPW to talk about, because when I was walking down my first couple months, I was walking and I couldn't figure out why people were telling me there was no parking downtown when I knew that there was plenty of spaces on all these, behind all these buildings. I couldn't understand what was going on. And then I really took a step back and I was like, wow, there's no parking signs. So if I'm a commuter, if I'm somebody passing by, but I see that there's a coffee shop, or I see that beautiful dress in the window, and I have 30 minutes, an hour to spare, but there's no parking on the street, I might just keep on driving by as a consumer, thinking about that. So working with the Traffic Commission and the police department to get 4 parking signs north and south on Concord Street is a huge win for the businesses, because now consumers can find access, residents can know where they can park. This evening, there's a tree lighting that's happening starting at 5 o'clock until 7:30 by the city. Well, now people can know that there's parking down there, and they don't have to search for street parking and think about, okay, where am I going to park and where am I going to walk to? And hopefully that creates more foot traffic and more economic benefits for the downtown as a whole. We've been currently, the haircuts at the day center, which I have a video to show as we get later down. The haircuts at the day center is something that one of my interns that I have from Mass Bay Community College, so working with the behavioral science students, I was able to, the human services students that would like to transfer for a behavioral science degree, I was able to work with them and talk to them about our work downtown with different organizations. And they saw the need for the social services downtown and the clients that they were working with, and they were working really hard to build themselves back up in whichever way they might be in. So the student is now leading this charge of once a month, they're providing haircuts at different social services and working with barbershops and salons to rotate them throughout the months and the year so that not one barbershop is always giving away their time. Not one hair salon is always giving away their time. But the businesses are now, we're creating a community with inside of that community so that they feel connected to the social service is right around the corner from them. But now they also know more about that social service. If they have family members, friends, they know somebody, they come into contact, they now know that there's social services available right around the corner from their business that they might not know was there before. So that's really important, is kind of building that full circle of, well, the student is getting real life experience in actually leading a project and following through. The businesses are getting what they asked for and to be more of a community member, and the social services are getting some of their needs supported. But then we're also letting everyone know that these services are available. So being able to share that knowledge in a informal, formal way, and not just pass out a piece of paper and hopefully somebody keeps that piece of paper or remembers that email. But now they've made a personal connection to these services where now they're going to remember that experience. And if they know somebody or come across an individual that might need those services, they know exactly where to turn and who to contact. And as I talked about my Mass Bay intern, we're working on a partnership with Framingham State to create the same internships because there's a lot of businesses downtown. There's over 90 plus businesses in the downtown and organizations in the downtown area. And most of them are 5 employees or less. So some of them need help, whether it's maintaining their Instagram page, whether it's getting them on the free social platforms, getting them into the Metro West Visitors Bureau guidebook that's free for businesses to access every year, to tell them about the Chamber of Commerce or Framingham Business Association, or even just to go through their Yelp and make sure that their reviews are appropriate. So working with the universities and the college to find those students that have that interest. Maybe it's a digital humanities student that really is super into telling a story. And so now we're working on business spotlights for businesses to be on Access Framingham television. And so the businesses now have a business spotlight that they can use for marketing purposes, or just a celebration video, or they can just share within their networks of their family members. The interns are also doing research and analysis. We do a lot of grant writing, and well, the university has a grant writing program. So we want to be able to use some of those students to help us with the research that's important for the grant writing. And then additionally, if I can give them the experiential learning opportunity of working on a real-time grant that has deadlines and they can work on throughout a whole 15-week semester and get credit for it, it's very, very more attractive than going to class twice a week, I think. You know, it does benefit Downtown Framingham Inc. with the interns, but I think it's also very, very important to create those opportunities. I went to Mass Bay. I graduated from Mass Bay with an early ed degree, and then I worked my way through Northeastern, right? But being able to have those real life experiences while working and going to school really helped me excel in my classwork because I was able to go to my professors and ask follow-up questions that actually benefited me more at work than it did in the classroom. So I really want to be able to give that back. And you know, as I was talking about those business spotlights, we've already have done 5 business spotlights within 11 months, and they've been led by our interns. They do the actual video shooting, they bring the lights, they get access to the video equipment, then they go to the studio and edit it. And so now these businesses can use it to whatever extent they want to use it. But for them, they're feeling heard, and somebody sees them more than just a business. They see that they're a community member and they want to be celebrated. So the spotlight is not just, hey, what are you selling, and what's your best product, and what's on sale this month? It's their story, right? It's how you got here. And for some of these business owners, they've started at somebody else's flower shop and then learned from them and then now have their own business and bought that business from that flower shop owner. Some of the businesses have been in downtown Framingham, like Urbano's Furniture, and they've expanded 3 times in the same location because they've grown so much. Union Travel has done the same thing. They've grown 3 times in their expansion within 4 years. Fresh Cafe, they just redid their entire business inside and remodeled it, and now they have a live vine plant inside of their business. They have 120-year-old paneling, and it's gorgeous. Londa Med Spa has a beautiful story of being an immigrant and going to school and working through med school and now owning her own business in downtown Framingham and is very successful. So we want to be able to continue to share those spotlights and have those businesses be celebrated so that they do stay here and they do create more business and drive economic vitality to the downtown area because they all matter and they're all important. And then again, just the 25 at Marathon Fest, local vendors, to 35 at our Oktoberfest is we've grown 200% of businesses wanting to be involved in our events since last year, since I've come in. So I'm just really excited about that. And the larger picture to your left with the QR codes is another highlight that I'm working on a larger project with Mass Trails, Mass Dot, DCR, the Conservation Department, and the planning team to talk about what does shared pathways and trails look like in downtown Framingham. Downtown Framingham is an economically just as saturated area, and there's no outdoor space for folks. There's lots of pavement, there's lots of housing, there's not a lot of outdoor space, and with those big pavement parking lots, it's called a heat island, right? And so if we're walking around, right, I'm actually getting more heat and exhaustion and not being able to breathe as appropriately as I would if I had a shared outdoor space and getting to that. So part of this is just an outreach, a touch point for us to gather information from the community in 3 different languages, so that when Mass Trails, Mass Dot, DCR, the city planning department, they want to write a grant, they want to go seek state or federal funding, we have information to help them to write that grant, right? Because that information is important from the people that are living there. And well, I'm in downtown Framingham. I live here. I've been here for a very long time. I do speak Spanish, so it allows me to go in and have conversations with more residents and explain what this means. Explain that, hey, do you want to get outside? Do you want to go walk your stroller somewhere else? Do you want to go out with your friends and your kids and walk from here to Ashland and back on packed stone paved pathway? Well, this is the start of it. Right? If we can get information going and get the ball rolling, well, there's about a mile and a quarter of land behind CSX, behind Odessa, that connects Whitney Street in Holliston all the way to the downtown Framingham area, called the Upper Charles Trail Extension. And right now there is pathways back there up until about the Ashland line, and then it stops. And then it goes through the Ashland Dykeway back onto Concord Street by the Ashland line. So there is pathways already back there, and now we're working on getting that connectivity so that even more people can come from other communities and ride their bikes to the downtown Framingham area and celebrate it. And then that allows us to provide more programming if there's more opportunities for it. So the haircuts at the day center, just gonna highlight and show a quick video that our intern made. So the 2 folks on the outside in the hats are 2 of the barbers in downtown Framingham, and they're more graciously enough to donate 2 hours of their time to provide haircuts. The gentleman in the blue shirt is Ed Cannon. He is a SMOC outreach coordinator and helps with constant effort out on the streets to get folks into programs and help them get what they need, whether it's renter's assistance, whether it's a job application, whether it's just finding housing, whether they just need a clean place to sit down and relax for a little while. The day center is open during the day for folks that are looking to better themselves, and they're kind of in that transition period for them to access a lot of these supports. And then our intern Gabe is wearing the brown shirt there. And so he's really passionate about this. Like I said, he's in human services, and looking for a behavioral science degree. And so this is something he's passionate about because it's direct contact with folks. So I'm just going to show the video of the day center.
Hi guys, my name is Ed Cannon and I'm the outreach coordinator for SMOC. I also work with the Metro West Care Connection that's run by advocates in combination with SMOC. So as I said, I'm the outreach coordinator, and part of the duties of the outreach coordinator is running what they're calling the day center. Think of it as a drop-in center. It's located at 75 Hollis Street. We're open now Tuesdays and Thursdays from 11 to 3. Well, I think we had 7 or 8 guys come through. Very first time out of the gate. The haircuts are unbelievably, first of all, it's an unbelievable kindness. Second of all, it's really, really helpful to the people that we serve to get them to feel better about themselves and be cleaned up. And these haircuts are superb. It's a tremendous, tremendous idea. The kindness of the haircutters and the organization that is bringing these people to us cannot be overstated. We appreciate it beyond belief, and I speak on behalf of all of the people that are in the area and in the street that I'd like to just say thank you all very, very much, and God bless you all.
So did you like your haircut, Mom? I think it looks great.
I haven't seen it yet, but I'm assuming it looks great because I'm used to just cutting it all off. I haven't had a professional haircut in 20, 30 years easily.
Yeah, 20, 30 years. So do you feel good now that you have it done?
In this heat,
Yeah.
I'm sure I will.
It'll definitely
It's
treat
really
beneficial.
getting me.
Yeah, the heat.
It's really getting me. I tried cutting it myself. Clippers failed. And then of course I got a text saying, your cut's down here, and
Yeah.
I had to come down and at least just get it off, cut off.
Definitely.
They did a good job. I think, I haven't seen it.
I think it looks great.
I mean, it took them forever.
Just
I
making
take-
sure you looked good.
My showers take less time than that. No, I'm sure they did a really good job. I'm really happy with it. It's not gonna be so hot.
Thank you so much. I really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Thank you very much.
And so that was from the first day we did it over early summer. We were able to get those haircuts going, and we've done 4 since at the day center. And then additionally, the Metro West Care Connections that uses the Downtown Common for their resource fair that they do quarterly. We were able to bring additional 4 barbers out that day, and they were able to give out actually 42 haircuts that day in the span of 2.5 hours because we were able to bring everyone to one centralized location, and the businesses saw the benefit of helping out. So they really wanted to get involved. So this is just really a highlight for our Mass Bay student being able to take on a project. For me as a leader, as a supervisor, as a Mass Bay alum, it's just really exciting to see kind of the full lineage and full circle of this happening, and just really excited to see how we can grow from this and see how many more folks we can get feeling confident and get back out into the workforce and feeling good. So here's another great way we make connections downtown. So Downtown Framingham Inc, outside of doing the small business support and getting the businesses aligned and supporting them, it's also about making connections and creating opportunities for other great organizations in the city. So here over the summer, we were able to partner with Jack's Abbey to do their very first dunk tank this summer. And we were able to connect them to other organizations like Daniel's Table, advocates. We had a few PTO school groups come out that wanted to fundraise for their for their teachers. And so we were able to get folks like State Rep Souza, Deputy Chief Riley out and involved in the community, because that's what makes it fun, is that it's the whole community getting involved, and it's not just the organizers sitting up there, which is great. I mean, I loved my time sitting up on the dunk tank and people coming and dunking me. But for folks to see State Rep Souza, Deputy Chief Riley get involved and get in the dunk tank in a full uniform for an hour and let folks dunk him, and take the opportunity to raise money for organizations in Framingham that's doing important work, is a true testament of the ability of Downtown Framingham Inc., I think the community as a whole, and how we're moving forward to be inclusive, right? We talked about those inclusive events and being able to have this where students, families, community members can come, and it's universal. There is no language barrier. It is as simple as, if you would like to dunk State Rep Souza, myself, or any other members, you have 5 shots at $5 or whatever your donation would like to be to that organization, and take a go and try to dunk your local leader. And this is something that I think we're going to try to bring back over the summers as we move forward, because it was just such a great event and community building, and folks were out and really enjoying their time on a Saturday. And it didn't feel like, okay, I just need to come here and take information and walk away from an organization. They really got to build partnerships and friendships that now, when I go to some of these organizations like Daniel's Table, Smock, I see some of the folks that were at this event now volunteering there on a weekday or a weeknight, whether it's packing groceries, whether it's delivering groceries, handing out food at the local food pantry. But we're building connections and going to continue building those connections, and using the great community partners that we have, as like Jack's Abbey and more. Oh. Another great connection is using my experience at the school and understanding that people are busy, and sometimes they can't find the time to come to school or come to a informational center or even get on a webinar from time to time. But if we can meet them where they're at and give them maybe 5 minutes of our time and something meaningful that hopefully that they can take something tangible away, then I think we're winning at that engagement department. So right here we're looking at a Saturday morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, outside of one of our local bakeries, Power Brazil, on Waverly Street. And Mass Bay is providing outreach for ESL classes, certifications, and some of their new continuing learning opportunities that they're starting this coming spring semester. And this was great because Mass Bay was able to come and provide 4 staff members that all spoke Spanish, Portuguese, or English, so that folks could ask questions, get more information, understand what we were out there passing out or not passing out. And it was just a great way to connect. Since then, I've actually heard that Mass Bay actually got 10 people that signed up for ESL classes, and they said it was due to this outreach. So that right there means that we need to do more of this, because there's an appetite for it. There are great organizations in the city of Framingham already that provide services for ESL, like Framingham Adult ESL, Brace, MAPPA, many others. But there's still a need and a want, and there's not enough seats and spaces and teachers to provide that. So being able to know where there are other opportunities, and then how do we connect the dots, and bringing people to where they are, and understanding that, well, if they're there out getting coffee, and I know that the bakery is really busy and they have a line, well, you have dedicated 5 minutes or less to give your sales pitch of why coming to Mass Bay, or why taking the opportunity to take a certification class, or, hey, did you know that if you're over the age of 25, you can go to community college for free now if you've never gone to college before in Massachusetts? So being able to provide that information to people is very, very important for me, as, again, being an alum from Mass Bay, but also being a community member and a leader in this community. Information is very, very important, but it's not always outreach to everybody, or it's not as accessible, or folks aren't connected in every single circle of where it is. So we got to make sure we find the spaces that we can connect those dots as best as possible. This is really something that we've started this year only. We'll continue to do it going forward in 2024 and years after. But this is at 7 Bishop over at the Smock building. And this is a small business workshop free for businesses. And so we've been able to host 3 to 4 this year alone for businesses to attend various workshops to help them in their everyday needs. This one specifically is how do you use ChatGPT to your advantage as a small business owner, and how can that be leveraged in your specific business. So we have somebody here that's giving a free workshop who's a local professional in marketing and digital marketing and how they use ChatGPT. And this is just an opportunity for businesses to come to a workshop that they know is going to be relevant to them. So I make sure that I walk around and I hear the needs of the businesses and get what they need so that I'm providing something that they'll actually come to, right? I don't want to provide something to them that's not going to be substantial information. I want to make sure it's something that they're going to want to take something away from of value, and they're going to follow up with that business owner or with me to ask for more information of how they can be more successful. So we've been able to do 3 to 4. Like I said, we've done anywhere from social media to ChatGPT to a finance 101 to just how do you go close new business. So like negotiating 101 and cold calling. And we've been able to provide this in various languages with the support of local organizations or myself being able to translate so that businesses feel that they can come to it, and it's not just for one language or one business or one service alone. It is for everybody. And we want to make sure that everyone can access it. Again, going back to the inclusiveness and multilingual aspect. This right here is just something that recently happened. We have a business on the left that was celebrating their 10-year anniversary. Loyalty Barbershop on 135. I just wanted to give them a nice little shout out because they've been a great community partner with us in the free haircuts at the day center and being able to give back. And then on the right here, we have the Framingham Public Schools superintendent leadership team and their delegation from Brazil, from Belo Horizonte and Minas Gerais, where the superintendent went there over the summer for a month and a half to learn what it's like to learn in a different country and to create a partnership where now we can have teachers from Belo Horizonte and Minas Gerais come to Framingham in a teacher exchange program to help with our dual language programs here in Framingham. But then additionally, they're building on a partnership for Framingham public teachers to go to Brazil to teach English, so that there's this duality of us learning from you, we're learning from them, and the school district has had a long line of success with their partnership in Spain. So there's already a teacher program with Spain where we have teachers from Spain that come and teach Spanish here, and then we provide teachers the opportunity to go to Spain to teach ESL over there. Teachers and community members can take the opportunity to host teachers during their time. They figure out their transportation. If they're home for a meal, they can join your family for a meal. If not, they figure out their meals on their own and everything like that. But it's a great program. Again, I can speak Spanish fluently because of I'm a product of the Framingham Public School District, and I went through the bilingual program, the two-way program. So I can say it works, and it's huge benefit to have in this community. So I'm just very thankful to see that they're seeing the need of not just the Spanish language, but now the Portuguese Brazilian language too, and building those partnerships out so that we can be more inclusive as a whole city and not just thinking about, how do we engage families to come to us, but we're engaging families and how we can go to them. And speaking their language is one huge opportunity. And I'm just going to go through some of the recap videos of our Marathon Fest and Oktoberfest just to give you all a kind of a sense of what we've done. I won't go through all of them.
The Marathon Fest that we have going on at Jack's Abbey parking lot today is an event for the community. It's really not to draw people away from the marathon, but it's just something going on in the background. Hey, you walked out here, you parked here for the day, watched the marathon, you're looking for something to do downtown Framingham, come down here at Jack's Abbey, hang out, meet some vendors, meet some exhibitors, local organizations, and just have some fun, some flair to the environment, add some culture and community down to the marathon, adding to what the success of it has already brought to downtown Framingham for over 100 years and what we can continue to build upon.
Today we are out spreading the word about our program. We match children from 8 years old all the way through high school with adult volunteers in the community. It is just 4 hours a month to spend time with someone, just so children can have a positive role model, that one-on-one, undivided attention, just spending time in the community. With our high school kids, it is a goal-oriented program, so people will help students set and achieve goals, and we are just trying to spread the.
And I just want to go back really quickly. So this right here is something that I would hope to bring this spring or next spring in 2025. So this is just the start of a partnership I found with a sustainable planter that the city does not have to worry about watering. I don't have to worry about going around and watering. It is a self-watering planter. So what it does is that there's a wick in the bottom of the planter that actually collects the water and then actually filters the water up from within. And so you could actually fill it once from April, and then you actually, as long as it rained a few times, you could actually get through the entirety of the summer into the fall without having to go back and water that planter at all. So it's a really, really very cool initiative, and the city is really big on they're pushing sustainability and clean energy, and we want to be more eco-friendly, and especially with the shared pathways and outdoor trailways, we want to be at the forefront of this. We don't want to be playing catch up. We want to make sure that we're keeping up as stuff planned. So I just wanted to stop really quickly and point that out as we have young people painting it. Hopefully, as we get more, they start painting it, and then they see their artwork across the city in these planters.
Investing in children and youth is the most important thing we can do for our future, for our community. I think when we uplift children and give them the support that they need, I think it's a positive effect for everybody.
And for me, I'm a mom.
I'm going to show you guys the next video from Oktoberfest. Again, I'm not going to show all the entirety video, just kind of a quick snapshot of what the day looked like.
Reyad Shah from Downtown Framingham Inc, and today we're here at our 5th annual Oktoberfest. What Oktoberfest means to Downtown Framingham Inc is an opportunity for the residents to come downtown and celebrate all the small businesses, all the organizations.
Background, we have Center Music students setting up, getting ready to perform there on the stage as I'm talking.
From other destinations and surrounding areas too to come down and celebrate the area as well. We look to activate the space and make sure that we drive traffic down here to the small businesses that do make up the beautiful downtown central business district.
Break it down. Yeah, check it. I see you wear designer clothes, things I've never seen before.
My name is Courtney, and I work front of house at Jack's Abbey.
I'm Jocelyn. I'm the general manager of Jack's Abbey.
My name is Catherine Hoy. I work.
And so that was just a quick little teaser of what our Oktoberfest event looks like. Sorry, there's that. And so again, I'm going to share this information with the Framingham Public Library. So they have this flyer, the information, all the videos and everything like that. And what I'm just really excited for 2024 is to really turn up the volume on our events. Because now that I've had a year in this position, now I really see kind of the things that we missed the gaps on as an outreach or fine-tuning events and things like that, but also now we can build more events out. So this coming year, we currently have on the docket we're celebrating 20 years. January 31st, we'll be having our 20th annual celebration. In March 16th on a Saturday, there's gonna be a Shamrock Stroll where we'll do tours of the local breweries, Jack's Abbey and Exhibit A. We'll get behind the scenes, see how things are made, see how it's packaged, see how Jack's Abbey sends all that stuff in and out of the doors every single day. Same thing like Exhibit A is building up kind of their manufacturing part of just selling beer and being a staple business in downtown. In May, we're going to be doing a Spring Fest where we will be bringing plant nurseries to the downtown area to do a plant sale on that first weekend, and then coupling with a taco tour on that Sunday for May 5th weekend to celebrate Cinco de Mayo. And then we will also bring back some of our coffee tours, architectural tours, and then our Oktoberfest again in September. So we are looking forward to a busy, busy year. On top of that, supporting all the businesses and what they might need, some of the partnerships, again, getting those Mass Bay and Framingham State students to come out of the classroom and work with us, and maybe not just support me, but some of the businesses and local organizations, so that they can feel connected to the community. If they are a Mass Bay student, most likely they're probably a local student. So we want to make sure that they do feel connected to that community so that they can come out into the community on weekends and celebrate with their families. So the Framingham State students can take the Ramtrak from campus to downtown and get a cup of coffee, to get a pastry on the weekend, to go to Amazing Things Art Center on the first Thursday of the month. They have open mic night for all ages and all skills. They do have an open bar if you are of age and you would like to have a drink of your choice while there. I've seen anywhere from a ukulele player to a piano player, jazz and blues, and you're talking young kids, middle school performers to professionals in the area that just want to give back and have a spot to play. I would suggest getting there early. It does fill up. It is a very sought after event in the downtown area. It's really something to at least experience once in your time. And there's comedy shows downtown. We are looking to really boost up the walkability. So you will see architectural tours and coffee tours. So make sure you do be on the lookout for that. If you didn't know, there's 3 coffee places in downtown area that do grind their own beans or espresso beans. So we'll have the opportunity to taste a little bit of their specialties, anywhere from a guava latte to a spiced pumpkin chai latte, to just trying out their dark roast versus their light roast. And then you can vote on your best and let us know whichever one you like the best. But they're all delicious. I don't pick favorites because I love them all, but I definitely suggest everyone to go out and pick your favorites and test them all out. I will leave, there are some folks here in the room, if there's any questions, that anything that I went through. Yes? It's a great question. So the question was, where did they get the name the Upper Charles Trail? So this actually is a Upper Charles Trail extension all the way from the Charles River connection all the way through the Metro West area into what is like Newton Waltham area, and then going up into like the Assabet Valley River area, and then coming back through like Marlboro. And if I can definitely share more information with you on that and where that map connects, which I do have access to. I just didn't want to put it up here. I'm not as versed in all the trail work, but I definitely can find the answers and connect you forward. But I do know that it does connect through the Charles River Extension Way that does walk through like Newton, Waltham area that gets down there. Correct. Yep. And that's really, really just like exciting for me as a person that lives in downtown who I would love to go take my bike, but the only way I can take a bike out and feel like I can get on a pathway is I got to hook it up to my bike rack and drive over to either Knobscott or Callahan or the Boy Scout reservation or Hudson or Marlboro and then get on my bike and then ride around. But if I could get on my bike in downtown and ride my bike to Hudson, Marlboro, Ashland, Natick, Sherborne, that would be amazing, right? Not even just riding my bike, but people being able to walk out there, making sure it's wide enough that there can be bikes and walking at the same point in time. So there is a lot of movement. If there are folks here in the room or on YouTube that would like to get involved, either in just the outreach or being a part of the planning teams that the city will be putting out for boards and commissions and stuff like that, please feel free to reach out to me or to the city, or I'll connect you to folks that are really leading the charge on the Charles. And there are folks like the Friends of Framingham Trails and things of that nature that are working on the Carol Gretschel Trail right now. On the other side of the city, they're working on the Chris Walsh Trail that's in the phase 1 right now. So Chris Walsh Trail is on the phase 1 from Farm Pond that will connect the aqueduct into downtown Framingham at the end of Franklin Street by the train station. Now, they have to think about where does that connection look like over the street to continue to the Upper Charles Trail. However, there is already phases and work and funding to get that Chris Walsh Trail up and running. So as Downtown Framingham Inc., we're super excited that there is movement and there is starting points of access. So now thinking of how do we get in front of that and working with our local bike shop to maybe do a biking tour once that gets up and going, and we can do the bike tour with the architectural tour and a coffee tour or one versus the other. But I'm super excited just to have another dynamic aspect to the downtown area that can attract a different type of consumer. And that I mean of either biking pass where people don't want to bike, say, on 126 or 135, but I'm sure they would drive their bike to the parking lots in downtown Framingham that are behind those two buildings that you can park, and then you can ride your bike to those trails and then access downtown and shop and maybe grab a bite to eat or listen to some music or anything that downtown has to offer. Are there any other questions? Yes. So the question was, where is the exact location of Jack's Abbey? So Jack's Abbey is at 100 Clinton Street. No, it's not on Waverly. So it is if you're on, you can either take Grant or Bishop Street to get there. It is behind the old Denison Manufacturing Building, to give kind of a point of reference to folks off of Waverly Street where the Harley Davidson building was, and the Denison Manufacturing. If you take a left at the intersection of 135 and Bishop and cross the railroad tracks, 100 Clinton Street will be about 400 feet up on your left. Well, I want to thank you all in here that are physically here in the room and everybody that's online that was here present for this Lunchtime Learning Series. I'm super excited to talk about Downtown Framingham Inc., what Downtown Framingham is looking like in the near future. We are looking to bring in, like I mentioned, some new restaurants, some outdoor seating options, outdoor trail paths, and 4 staple events this coming 2024. So if you're looking to get involved, want to know more information, looking for some of those resources I talked about, please send me an email, send us a message, like us on Facebook or Instagram, come on down to one of our events, get involved. I'm I can definitely point you in the right direction. So I just want to thank you all for your time. I appreciate it. And I am here for another couple minutes for if there are any more questions. But I definitely wanted to like leave the space and just thank the room and everyone online for the time. Thank you. Oh, I didn't even show you. I'm sorry. One last thing. This website, our newly found website, was redesigned by our mass-based student and is managed by our mass-based student.